everybody and welcome to Pumpkin's nail station. So today we're going to be doing some sculpting with the iBeauty For You clear polygel. We're going to be using the base coat, the top coat and the primers by Moravan, and we're going to be sculpting some short nails. I've done that one yesterday and I did this one off camera just because it's at funny angles, and we're going to sculpt this one and this one on film for you guys. So what you would do to start off with is you would use your prep and dehydrator, which I will show you on this nail. So this is the dehydrator, which you would put on like this. You would file and prep your nails first, and I would wait for that to evaporate fully, and then I'm going to do a second layer of dehydrator. So again, we wait for that to evaporate fully, and then you would pop on your primer. So I haven't used this primer yet, so we're giving it a go. So I'm only going to do one layer of primer, and this is an acid-free primer. You can tell the difference because the brush will be inside the bottle. If it's an acid primer, the brush will be separate, it'll be outside of the bottle. And then we'll add the base coat on once we've done this. So I've already got the base coat on this nail, and now we're going to be adding the polygel on. I've not showed you me putting the form on just for the simple reason that it just takes me forever sometimes. So if you want a separate video on that, or you want to see it, let me know, because I've got to do this hand and I can show you. So I've got some alcohol in this one just here, so I think I might need a bit more. Yeah, evaporated. So this is 70% alcohol, and then in another one I've got some of the iBeauty For You slip solution, so I'm just going to pop a drop more in there. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please make sure if you enjoy this video you hit the subscribe and the bell. Don't forget to turn on the bell icon so you don't miss out on any future uploads. The alcohol I've got just to clean my brush out so I don't dirty up the slip solution. So iBeauty For You is a HEMA-free polygel, and also vegan and cruelty-free as well. So is their gel polishers, base coats, top coats and stuff like that, and they've also got makeup which is vegan, cruelty-free and no parabens. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to zoom us in a little bit more. Okay, so there we have it. So we've got it how we want it, and we're going to just get a bit of slip, and you would angle your brush up here and just make sure you get it as close to this as possible, the cuticle or the top of the nail. And then if you think it's touching the skin, you can just wipe it a bit like that. It's better to do this now, and then go down the side walls just there. It's better to make sure you get this all nice and neat beforehand, and make sure it is all the way to the side wall. Okay, so we've got it like that, and once you see it's in the middle there, you're going to come to about here, and then you're going to start bringing the brush that way, like that. Like that. And you're going to make sure, because I've got a bit of a weird bit here where I need a bit more polygel over here, so I'm going to pat some more over here. Okay, because I've got a bit of a weird dip in this nail, so you just want to make sure it looks right. Okay, so you can just pat it. You've just got to make sure it looks nice, it looks cute, shall we say. This polygel is actually really nice to use for this sort of thing, for sculpting. I really like it. I think it's really nice. So I'm just going to make sure this is like squared off here, and like squared off down here, and you're going to just pull it down to a bit longer than you want it, because you're going to need some file room. So I'm going to go above the one line. You can push this back up here so you don't waste it. I'm just going to go down to number 2, I think, even though I don't want it that long. But you're going to have to leave yourself some room for filing. Okay, and just make sure it goes all the way across. And just make sure it's all the way down on both sides. And you're going to make sure that you've got it straight, like from there to there. So I think I might need to just come out a bit here. Okay, and just make sure it's all the way over there. This takes as long as it takes, okay? It's better to get it spot on now than it not being spot on, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that, and you can just make sure you've just got nothing hanging around on here with some alcohol. And just clean around your skin just to make sure there is nothing hanging around there. And just make sure there's no divots, so you can just flatten them out if you need to. Okay, so I'm going to just tip it upside down, and then I'm just going to cure this for about 10 seconds in the lamp, and then we're going to pinch it with these 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so you're going to check it's not too soft at this point, and then you're just going to bend it in a bit because you want this nice and curved at this point. You're just going to do it gently like this. Okay, so I'm just going to cure that again for the 60 seconds now, and then I'm going to come back. Okay, right, so here we are. So we're just going to clean the brush with the alcohol, get a bit of slip solution, and we're going to do the same thing. See, I had to really... So all I'm doing here is basically just repeating everything I've just showed you at normal speed. I thought I'd show it you a couple of times, so you can just sit and watch this, and then if you've got any questions, just ask. But one thing I will say is, because this nail bed is slightly wonky, I do play around with it. I've got like a really curved middle nail bed, and I've got a bit of a dent, a natural dent in my nail. So I have to sort of fill that up a little bit more. So if you have got weird shapes and, you know, bumps and divots in your nails, and you might need to pay a bit more extra attention to those areas, and just add a bit more polygel there and move it around until you get it looking nice and arched. But the good thing about polygel is you don't have to, it doesn't set until you've cured it. So as long as you're not applying loads of wet alcohol on top of it, and you're keeping the brush as, you know, not saturated as possible, and only dipping it when it feels sticky, you can generally play about with this as much as you want to. So yeah, that's all I'm really going to say. But if you've got any questions, just ask. But one thing I'm going to say about this polygel is I'm really enjoying sculpting with it, and I think it's definitely going to be something I would buy again for myself, 100% to sculpt with. This sculpts like a dream. It doesn't go all down the form, it just stays put. So I really like it, but it also feels soft as well, but it's not dripping down the form, it stays put. So I'm really enjoying the actual polygel. But you don't have to have this polygel, you can use any polygel that you've got and still follow these simple steps that I'm showing you here. So again, any questions, just leave them in the comment section. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're just, I flash cured the nail for 10 seconds, and then we've got some pinchers here, and what this is going to do is give you a nice tight C curve or a nice shape to the tip area. So you would just do it slightly above the stress area, above the free edge, and a bit on the tip, only gently for a couple of seconds, and then you would put it back into the lamp for its full cure. I would either do it with some pinchers, or if you can do it with your fingers, but I would wear gloves. You know what I think we're going to do? I think we're just going to make this like sculpting file shape video, and I think I'm going to do a separate one for the design, just because I think this would really suit this kind of video if I did it like that. So we're just going to go for the sculpting, and then we're going to do a bit of file and shape. Got a clean file. You would just clean off the tacky layer from all of the nails like so, and then this is what they look like. Just don't worry too much about it. We can sort that out, but as you can see, there isn't too much mess hanging around on the outside of the nail, which is good. And now we're just going to use, I've got a new file out for this job. Okay, so you're just going to straighten up these edges a bit. So you're going to do that. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're just using a 100-180 grit file. We're just using the softer side of the file, and we're going to file the free edge. We do that nice and straight because we're doing a square set here. And then we're going to go, when you go down the side walls, it's always good to tip your finger sideways so you can see all the side wall, and then keep the file straight and file straight, because if you're filing the tip, like just the tip as I've seen people do it, all you're going to do is just file away that nail and it's going to look all uneven. So make sure the finger is straight, the file is straight, and you file straight. So we do all of the nails, we do that to them, okay? And then once we've got to that bit, we're going to go around the cuticle area and we're going to buff all the top of the nail and just improve what the surface looks like. So we're going to do that a little bit with the file, the normal file, and then I switch to a buffer. So we do all of that and we get it all looking nice and smooth, and then I think I just normally just check the end of my nails. But the best way to check if your nails are nice and straight is to look at it with your fingers facing upwards with the file. Okay, so this one is a little bit bulkier than I want it, so we're going to use a sandband. I've just gone for some cheaper sandbands that probably what most people have in their kits that they get. But I am using this e-file, so it's a good e-file, but you could use any. I'm going to put it on about 10, I think. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're just using a fine sanding band, and we're just going to go over this little pinky nail because I added a little bit too much polygel on there. So we're just going to sandband it with it rotating against you. So it needs to be rotating towards the cuticle and you're pulling it down. So if you're right-handed, it will be forward. If you're left-handed, it will be reverse with this bit. So we would just however you're comfortable using it, you just sand down the surface of the nail. And then in a short while, what we're going to be doing is getting it's like a cuticle ceramic bit. It's like a really long, stick kind of like one, but it's blue. And then that part's for cleaning underneath the nails, just to make sure they are thinned out, because if they look a little bit bulky, that's how you can thin those parts of the nail out. You can also just get rid of anything that might be overhanging onto the skin and around on the, you know, just below the cuticle. If that looks a little bit thick, you can just shave off any product there as well. But those little long bits that I'm going to clean, that I clean underneath my nails with in this clip, they're the best thing to have in your collection, even if you're just starting out doing nails. A sanding band and one of those bits and maybe a cuticle bit is really all you're going to need to start yourself off with, especially if you're just doing polygel. Those bits will get you started off, and then you could maybe get a ceramic bit to start removing the bulk and working your way up. But you could get on with some sanding bands, one of those bits for underneath your nails, so you can clean and thin out underneath and just clean off any bits that you might have got near the skin. It'll just get rid of all that sort of stuff and just clean that up underneath the nail bed really nicely. But you will need a forward and reverse bit, so one that works both ways. Otherwise it's just only going to cut one way and you're going to find it difficult. If you've got some of those bits that you get in kits, then you could use one that looks a bit like a teardrop kind of thing, so you could use one of those bits that you're comfortable with using underneath the nails. You could do that. But if you can get your hands on one of those, it will really make your nails look so much nicer. So I hope this has helped, but if you've got any questions, then just ask. Okay, so this is the full hand here. They are that long, so they're not very long, so they're just a normal, like, regular length nails. That's what they look like. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the video here. I've got to clean up my desk. We do not want to be painting nails with dust everywhere, so I have to clean all this up, and then I'll probably just do a part 2 for the nail design. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'll throw all this away. My bin was right over the other side, so yeah, I'm going to throw all this away. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to come back tomorrow after I've just given my desk a wash down, and we're going to do the nail art then. So yeah, I'm just going to call this quits. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you've got any questions, leave them down below. If you enjoyed it, I would appreciate it if you would hit the subscribe button to show me your support, and turn on your notification bell, like the video and leave me a comment. I would appreciate that so much. And if you've got any questions, leave them down below. I will link the products down below. The Prep and Prime, I will link the one that you can buy by this brand that's separate. I believe you can just buy the extra strength primer and dehydrator separately. I got it as part of a kit that I reviewed, which I'll link the video there or in the description box. And I'll link the iBeauty for You products in the description box with my code for 10% off, which is pumpkin10. So I'm going to go now, and I will see you probably in a few days. Well, when this gets posted for you, it will be like a day or something, or a couple of days, and the design will come shortly afterwards. But I hope you've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed sculpting my nails. I haven't done a sculpted set in a long time, but I did really enjoy this particular polygel for sculpting because it didn't run around everywhere. I've got a bit inside my lid, but it doesn't matter. It didn't run everywhere. Let's pop a little bit of base coat on and take a look at how clear this is. If we can see it. There is probably a bit of dust still underneath my nails, to be honest. So we're just going to have to do this so you can see it. It's relatively clear. I think it's a pretty clear polygel, to be honest. I have got some pictures, a picture of it, so I'll stick it up on the screen. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!